Does racism exist?
Are you really asking me that question? Is that a serious question? Are you a serious host? Did you just ask me if racism exists?
Right.
That might be the dumbest question in my 24-year career that anyone's asked me.
Question?
Yes, Jesse. There are people that judge other people based on race.
And
yes,
what is
Jesse,
your proof that racism exists?
Do you not have any black people that are friends of yours? Is that a serious question? I mean, is this a serious program?
In today's video, Brian Shapiro grilled Jesse Lee Peterson on the fallen state as a heated debate over racism, immigration, and American history quickly turns explosive. Brian Shapiro presses Jesse Lee Peterson on his most controversial claims, leading to a tense back and forth that leaves little room to hide. So let's dive in and watch how Brian Shapiro shuts down Jesse Lee Peterson on the fallen state.
Do you agree to that? He should ship the illegals back?
But he's not doing that.
No,
but he's not doing that.
I asked, do you agree that he should ship the illegals back?
Are you talking about violent criminals or nonviolent criminals?
No, I'm talking about the people that are here illegally. Should he ship
I'll
them
answer
back?
I'll answer that. So first of all, let's start with violent illegal criminals.
I know, 100%. Wait, just slow down for a minute, Brian. Brian, hold on. You agree with me that the Great White Hope should ship the ones that are here illegal back to wherever they came from, right?
Well, first of all, he's not white, he's orange. So let's be categorically correct. He's the Orange Hope. If you want to call him the Orange Hope, he's not even white. He's orange. Number two, I don't agree with deporting people that have been here, even if they're undocumented. If they've lived here for decades and they're nonviolent criminals and they have families here, there has to be some sort of pathway to citizenship for many of these people that are good people. And the Trump administration, so I guess the answer is no.
And
the Trump administration is breaking the law.
Slow down a little bit. We're going to get to all those issues.
Okay.
If somebody moved into your home illegally and you were out of the country vacation or whatever, you came back and they've been there for a year and they appear to be good citizens, would you leave them, you would let them stay in your home?
Yeah, so I'll answer that. First of all, terrible analogy with respect. Breaking into somebody's home is a felony. Coming into the country illegally is a misdemeanor. No, it's not. How do you not know that?
It's breaking the law.
How could you do a show?
But
how could you do a show and not know that? Hold on a second. You just said it's a felony to be in this country illegally?
It's not a felony, but it's illegal to come into the country illegally.
Okay, it's a misdemeanor.
You agree to that, right?
I understand. It's a misdemeanor.
And so
it's a
why
felony
wouldn't
to break,
you let them stay in your home if they broke into your...
I'm telling you, breaking into somebody's home is a felony. It's not a misdemeanor. We're talking about two separate crimes. The answer is no. If you break into somebody's home, it's a felony. If you come into the country illegally, it's a misdemeanor. That's a false analogy you're giving me.
But they're still breaking the law, Brian. Give me an example of a misdemeanor. Brian, why wouldn't you let them stay in your home? They're good people.
So you want people held to account for breaking the law. Is that what you're saying?
I want them held to account for breaking into
what about a 34 count?
Hold on.
Then why would you?
I want them held to account for breaking into my country illegally. Is that fair?
Okay. You want them held to account for breaking into your country illegally.
Yes.
You want people held to account for breaking the law. Then why would you support a 34 count felony?
No, that's not the question, Brian. Am I wrong?
Well, you're contradicting yourself.
Am I wrong for wanting them to be sent back for breaking into my country illegally, into America?
Not if they're deported illegally.
What?
Not if they're deported illegally.
What stood out in this is that immigration policy is often discussed as if every undocumented immigrant fits the same category, when the reality is much more complicated. Numerous studies over the years have found that immigrants, including undocumented immigrants in many communities, are not responsible for crime rates at the levels often claimed in political debates. In fact, many areas with large immigrant populations have experienced declining crime rates while immigration increased. Another point worth mentioning is that the US economy relies heavily on immigrant labor in agriculture. construction, hospitality, and food production. Millions of people who lack legal status have still paid taxes, raised families, and contributed to local economies for years. That does not automatically solve the legal question, but it does explain why many experts support reforms that distinguish between violent offenders and long-term residents with no serious criminal history. The comparison between immigration violations and breaking into a private home also leaves out an important legal reality. US law treats these situations very differently. Immigration violations fall under a separate legal framework, which is why courts, lawmakers, and immigration agencies handle them differently from violent or property crimes. There is also the issue of due process. Regardless of political views, American law is built on the idea that government actions should follow established legal procedures. That principle applies to citizens and non-citizens alike. When deportations bypass proper review or create questions about legal rights, concerns naturally follow. Ultimately, effective immigration policy requires more than slogans. It requires secure borders, functioning legal pathways, fair enforcement, and a recognition that complex problems rarely have simple one-size-fits-all solutions.
Are you aware of the guy who you support?
Right, I
that
don't
you
understand the question.
Well,
I'm
I
asking
understand.
You
I'm going to try to.
asking you one specific question first.
I'm trying to answer your question.
Am I wrong for wanting them to be and appreciating the fact that they're being sent back for breaking into the country illegally? Is that wrong?
The way Donald Trump is doing it is wrong. You're not describing it correctly. It's not that he's deporting these people back to their countries.
That's not the question, Brian. I'm
You're not
asking,
answering.
is it wrong?
Okay. So you're saying if they're deported by the law, is that what you're asking me? If they're being deported the right way, you're asking me if I agree or disagree or if that's okay?
I'm asking
is that what you're asking me?
Is it wrong to have them sent back to their country for breaking into the country illegally? Is that wrong to send them back?
If they are not seeking asylum, and if the Trump administration is not breaking the law, then no, that's not
the
legally
question,
wrong. But the point I'm trying to convey to you,
Brian, I know we're going to get to your point.
I just answered your question.
Am I wrong? Is it wrong to send them back if they broke into the country illegally? They came here illegally. They broke the law. Is it
where
wrong
are they
to
sending,
send them back
and where
to
are they
their
getting
country?
sent back?
Is it wrong to send them back to their country?
If they're doing it that way, although I disagree with it.
I didn't ask you how they were doing it. I'm asking
legally.
I didn't ask you how they were doing it, Brian.
It's not legally wrong.
Brian, that's not the question.
It's not legally wrong. I understand. I'm answering your question. It's not legally wrong, but the way you're characterizing the question, you're making it sound like that's what the Trump administration is doing. And I'm telling you, in a lot of cases, they're not doing it that way.
It was just a simple question. I didn't ask if Donald Trump was doing it right or wrong. I asked you a simple question.
Then I will say it's not legally wrong for you to think that if somebody is illegal in this country and they're being deported back to their country, not in a prison, then it's not wrong for you to think that way. No.
No, I'm asking you, is it wrong, Brian? Is it wrong or right to send them back to their country if they came into our country illegally? Is that wrong or right?
Again, if you're talking about,
I'm asking one straight up simple question: is it wrong or right to ship them back if they came into the country illegally? Is that wrong or right?
Case by case basis.
No. If they came illegally,
case by case basis.
Are you okay with paying for illegals?
Yes. So yeah, if a illegal, for example, gets dropped off at the emergency room and they need life-saving care, 100%, I think we should be able to help them in that situation. As far as government assistance like welfare and food stamps, no. That's why it's against the law.
So you don't want to pay for their education?
If an undocumented child, well, first of all, are we talking about anchor babies? Who exactly are we talking about?
Many of these immigration discussions get stuck on slogans instead of focusing on what actually works. The reality is that immigration enforcement has always been more complicated than simply removing everyone who entered the country illegally. According to multiple studies over the years, undocumented immigrants are generally less likely to commit violent crimes than native-born citizens, which challenges the assumption that undocumented status automatically makes someone a danger to society. Another important point is the economic impact. Millions of undocumented immigrants work in industries like agriculture, construction, food processing, and hospitality. Economists have repeatedly warned that mass deportation efforts could create labor shortages, raise consumer prices, and disrupt local economies that depend on those workers. That's one reason why both Republican and Democratic administrations have often struggled to implement large-scale deportation plans despite tough rhetoric. There's also a legal distinction that often gets lost in these conversations. Immigration violations and violent criminal offenses are not treated the same way under US law. Courts, immigration judges, and federal agencies evaluate cases differently depending on criminal history, family ties, asylum claims, and how long someone has lived in the country. That's why immigration enforcement is rarely as simple as comparing it to other crimes. The humanitarian side matters too. Many undocumented immigrants have children who are US citizens, own businesses, pay taxes through payroll deductions, and have lived in American communities for decades. Any serious discussion about immigration has to account for those realities instead of treating every case as identical. Ultimately, solving immigration requires secure borders, legal pathways, and practical reforms, not just political talking points that ignore the complexity of the issue.
Brian, do you want to pay for illegal aliens' education?
I don't have a problem with that.
Do you want to pay for illegal alien housing?
Where are illegal aliens getting housing?
That's not the question. Do you want to pay for illegal alien houses?
You're asking me a question, and I don't even know if it's true that they're getting it. If they're getting housing, not
let's
necessarily.
Say you don't know if it's true or not. Would you want to pay for it if you knew it was true?
With all the money that this country has, if they're nonviolent criminals and they're homeless, I think we should help everybody that's homeless,
So, Brian,
whether they're legal
you
or illegal.
want to pay for illegal aliens housing?
Yeah, I think when you look at all the people in this country that are homeless, I think we should help all people.
Brian,
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it.
You want to pay
I'm answering you. No, I don't have a problem with it.
Brian,
no,
you want to pay for illegal. Brian, you want to pay for illegal aliens housing?
Yes.
You want to pay for their food?
No, I just told you they don't qualify for food stamps. So you're
I know
asking me
what
a
you said,
question
the lawyer. My question is, would you want to pay for illegal aliens' food?
I want to pay for everybody in this country that's struggling. And
how about illegal?
Yes, I would throw.
You want to pay for illegal alien food?
See, here's my problem with this conversation.
Brian,
you're talking about.
Brian, you're not answering my question.
Hold on a second, Jesse. Well, I just did. I just said yes, but Jesse, you're not letting me respond.
One last quick question about that. Then, do you want to pay for illegal alien health care?
I just told you if they're dropped off.
I didn't ask you about the emergency room. Do you want to pay for illegal alien health care?
Don't have a problem with it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's amazing.
Okay.
There is a God. I know that without a doubt. But, Brian, let me ask you this because of time. Hold on.
No, you don't. You don't know any more than me whether there's a God or not.
Hold on, Brian. Does racism exist?
Are you really asking me that question? Is that a serious question? Are you a serious host? Did you just ask me if racism exists?
Right.
That might be the dumbest question in my 24-year career that anyone's asked me. Yes, Jesse. There are people that judge other people based on race.
And
yes,
what is
Jesse,
your proof that racism exists?
Do you not have any black people that are friends of yours? Is that a serious question? I mean, is this a serious program?
Right, I have a whole bunch of black friends. Black people. My family is black. Well, everybody black. My children are black. No, Brian, there's no such thing as racism.
Tell that to Martin Luther King and his family.
Where's Martin Luther King now?
Yeah, he's dead. What about slavery? Was that racism?
I rest my case.
This gets intense fast, but Brian Shapiro stays grounded in a really important principle. Public policy shouldn't be built on fear or assumptions about immigrants, but on how real systems actually function. In the US, federal law already restricts undocumented immigrants from accessing most welfare programs like SNAP and TANF, and housing assistance through HUD is also tightly limited based on immigration status. So a lot of claims about widespread benefit use don't reflect how eligibility rules actually work in practice. Meanwhile, emergency rooms are still required under federal EMTALA law to treat anyone in life-threatening condition regardless of status, which is a legal obligation tied to public health, not politics. Shapiro's broader point connects to homelessness data, which consistently shows through HUD point-in-time reports that most unhoused people are long-term residents dealing with poverty, disability, or mental health struggles. That means the issue is structural and domestic, not driven by immigration status. He also aligns with findings from groups like the National Academies of Sciences, which have concluded that immigrants generally contribute positively to public finances over time, especially when integrated into the labor force. That undercuts the idea that expanding basic support systems creates net harm. Where his argument becomes more policy-driven is the idea of consistency. If the goal is reducing homelessness and improving public safety, then separating people into worthy and unworthy categories based on immigration status doesn't solve the root problem. It just redirects attention away from housing supply, wages, and healthcare access. In the end, the debate isn't really about slogans, it's about whether policy should be shaped by assumptions or by measurable outcomes that actually improve people's lives. Pause. Are you getting tired of getting half the story from biased news sources? One outlet says one thing and another says the complete opposite. How are you supposed to know what's actually true? That's where ground news comes in. It lets you compare how different media outlets, left, right, and center, are covering the same story. So you can see the full picture instead of just the echo chamber. And here's the best part. Click the link in the description and get 40% off the Vantage tier, which gives you even deeper insights into media bias and political trends. Stay informed, think for yourself, and check out ground news in the description down below.